everybody, it's Rexanna with Past Present Herbs, and today we're here in my kitchen. And today I'm going to be continuing this series. It's my prepper series, and in my prepper series I'm going to be continuing on with my first aid kit. I think that everybody with today and what's going on in our world today, we need a first aid kit. And being an herbalist, I'm not going to be putting things like Tylenol, or I'm not going to be putting things that you can go to the store, because in my mind, the stores, they're probably not going to be open. And with the dollar and the way things are in the dollar, I'm thinking our money may not even be of any use to us. So I've got like a first aid kit. We're not going to be just like going all in one video. You're going to have to subscribe and even like my videos in order to continue to learn. Like, you're going to have to go out and maybe you're going to have to learn how to do some of these tinctures and salves and oils. And I just want to thank all my new subscribers while I'm on this talk, because you guys have really, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, and you guys, now's the time. I mean, this is summertime. I mean, this is the time to start growing your herbs, making your salves. And I just want to thank everybody. This lemon balm salve has been a big hit. The video has been a big hit. And right now, I mean, lemon balm is a big bug repellent, and so is eucalyptus and citronella. So if you have any of those growing around you, near you, if you have a neighbor, get it. Make a salve out of it, make an oil. Right now, my grandkids were in the backyard, and we all got ate up. We were just trying to tend to the tomato plants, and they got some, I even got some mosquito bites. But you can put this on your mosquito bites, and it smells great, but it's also great for taking care of all kinds of bites. I mean, the flies were biting us. So you guys take advantage of everything that you got growing around you. Use it to your full advantage. And thank you again for all your likes and all your comments. But today what we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about a great herb that is so, I don't hear much about it anymore, but it's so beneficial to us, and especially when things get really dark and dim, and things are already dark, things are already getting dim, and that is lobelia. If you've never heard of lobelia, try to do as much research as you can, because this has been around since our grandfathers, and like in the 1700s. I mean, it's just been around for a long time, and I really hope this video don't get taken down. But Lobelia Inflate, okay, pay attention to that name, Lobelia Inflate. Lobelia Inflate there's some other names out there, and let me get my sheet of paper, because we're going to be making the tincture today, Lobelia Inflate. It's also common names are pukeweed, okay? Pukeweed, you may also know it as Indian tobacco, okay? Or asthma weed. That's why I'm using it, because it's great for the respiratory system. Or gag root, or vomit wort, or wild tobacco, or bladder pod. There's some common names out there. You may not even know it as Lobelia Inflate, but those are some really common names that people know it by. It's kind of an annual that self-seeds itself, so it's not really a perennial. It's not one that people just go out and want to buy, but it is kind of a pretty plant. Here's how you can identify it. It's not a big flowering beautiful plant. It's kind of a skinny plant. Its stems are about 6 inches. You mainly find it out in the middle of the forest. It's kind of one that's just about 6 inches. It's got long hairy stems. The flowers are purple, white, and yellow. It could be mixed, or it could be all by itself, all yellow, or all white, or all the flowers may be all purple. Maybe in a big like area, or it could be just a small bunch of them. Could be there one time, and one time it may not. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a biennial, but it's an annual, because it could seed, self-seed itself, and then you could go back the next time and it's not there. So the leaves are kind of oblong, they're veiny, and they're hairy, and they're pale green in color. But it says to be careful because the odor is kind of, it's kind of irritating. It could actually, the odor itself could actually cause you to be very irritating, could actually cause you to gag, okay? But if you taste it, it kind of resembles tobacco, okay? So if you've ever chewed on a leaf of tobacco, this may remind you of tobacco. Okay, the parts you can use the seeds in the they're medicinal seeds, and all the aerial parts, and they have even used the roots, but not often. Okay, now these are the actions, and it's an antispasmodic. It's also nervine, but the antispasmodic is what it's most famous for, okay? And it's a stimulant, and in small doses, it'll also help you, like it's a substitute, like people who, they did a study, I want to say in 1967, they actually, our forestry department went out and they planted it. They took an area of land, and they wanted to find out what it would do to help people to stop smoking. And scientific studies have been done. I didn't go in and get the link, and I'm not going to put it down in the description, but it did help on into the 70s. Scientifically, they proved that it does help people stop smoking in a major way. And so I urge anybody that is really trying to stop smoking, if that's really what they want to do. I mean, we're in the year 2023. Why would you not want to quit smoking? I mean, I know cigarettes are very, very expensive. So, I mean, this is a substitute for, it's got a lot of, you use very small doses. You could, I don't know if you could smoke it. I'm sure you could smoke it, but you could tincture it, use very small doses, and it gives you that same effect and feeling of wanting like nicotine and having that nicotine fix. So yeah, that's what it's for. It's for getting you off cigarettes. So anyway, it's a relaxant. It kind of gives you that relaxed feeling, calm feeling of wanting, like when you're wanting that I guess when you take a puff or whatever and you feel, that feels good. So I would definitely encourage anybody, if I was helping somebody get off cigarettes, I would help them, and I would use this herb to help them get off cigarettes. Okay, but like every time you can just put some on your lip and you get that feeling, you can lick your lips, get that feeling, and yeah. Okay, antispasmodic is also great. They've had documented cases like where people are actually in the throes of an asthma attack, and you put like a little bit underneath their tongue, like a couple of drops, 1 or 2 drops. You don't want to put like a full blown 30 drops underneath, but you just put like 2 or 3 drops, and it relaxes the whole trachea right in here, all of this in the chest, and they start where they're able to relax the anxiety, everything that goes with not being able to breathe, and the whole thing with having an asthma attack. It relaxes you. When you're hooked on an inhaler and you're trying to breathe, you're trying to take a deep breath in and you're trying to take a deep breath out, and just like that. When you don't have money and you can't get an inhaler, I'm thinking this is going to be great. When they have emergency situations, Lobelia is what they used before they had asthma inhalers. And so I'm thinking this is going to be great to go back to. They've had cases where it's safe for babies. They'll put 1 drop on the baby's tongue when the baby is spazzing and having an epileptic seizure. They'll do that and it brings the baby completely out of a seizure and the baby calms down. They've used so many different situations. I can't go on and on and on. But yeah, Lobelia is great in a first aid situation. It's an antispasmodic. Antispasmodics, when you're jerking and your body is like this, calms you right down. So it's really good. Antispasmodic is really, and then when you mix it with the Nervine, which Nervines are like skullcap, valerian, mistletoe. There's so many different types, hops. There's so many different Nervines, and you mix it with an antispasmodic herb, which is just great. I mean, you have a lot of different, like if you mix it with, I'm thinking a lot of other different Nervines that just aren't coming to me right now, but you have hysteria, or you have all kinds of, I'm thinking catnip, but you can also mix this with a little shot of warm water. And when you mix it with a little shot of warm water, and you can, it can help you with fever, relax the body, calm the body on the outside of the body, or even if you have a wound or a bruise or something that you can't get rid of on the outside of the body, and up in the neck, and relax, muscle tension throughout the body, on the outside of the body, a tincture can. So anyway, we are fixing to make Lobelia tincture. And I know we can mix other herbs to make like a really super duper tincture, but what we're gonna do really quick is we're just gonna make a regular Lobelia tincture. I'm not growing Lobelia. I do know of a place that does sell the seeds of Lobelia, and I think that's strictly medicinals. He does sell the Lobelia Inflate, and I will link that down below. And I think even certain times of the year, I'm not positive, I'll check with him, and I should have checked with him before I made this video. He may even have little baby plants, I don't know, but I want to grow it from seed. But there are certain times of the year that you can do that successfully, and then you can have it to, have your own fresh Lobelia. But anyway, like I said, it only comes certain times of the year, and I've got it fresh here from a company, and I will tell you where I got this from down in the description below. But for right now, we are going to make our own tincture, and it will preserve it for many, many years. So what we'll do is we're just going to have, I've got a quart jar here, and I've already labeled it. And you'll just need some vodka if that's your preference. That's what I'm using today. And I'm going to fill my jar about halfway. And I may do mine about 4 to 6 weeks. Just depends on if I remember. You might leave in the comments and let me know if you've ever heard of Lobelia. You may be experienced with Lobelia. And so leave in the comments what you've heard or what you haven't heard. And let me know what you think about this. I think that might be enough. Yeah, I think that's plenty. Because it's going to take up a lot of the water. And I might even take just a little bit of this out. Yeah, I think that's plenty. I've got some all over here, making a mess. And there is a lot of other good things that lobelia is good for that I read. And I think it's primarily up north that it is found. But this herb has been around. I don't know if many of you have ever heard of let me see here. Dr. Samuel Thompson. He's the grandfather of all the herbs. But he's the one that kind of come across it. He got in trouble for, that's why people are kind of scared of it. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna leave it right at that right now. I may need to come back here. You know, when you have fully covered your herbs and you've got plenty of room, it looks really good like that. You know, I'm gonna come back tomorrow. You shake your herbs really good, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow and see if it's, you know, when you've got a 80 proof alcohol, you've got 40% alcohol, 40% water. You don't really have all that alcohol in there. I always try to remind everybody that. If you're doing this with Everclear, you've got more alcohol than you do water. But this here will absorb, because it's a dehydrated herb, it will absorb a lot of that water. So I'll come back tomorrow and it won't be so liquidy. And I'm gonna need to get a paper towel. And so I always try to remind everybody, at least your first week, check on it really good every day and shake it really good every day. And then you can probably check on it every other day and make sure you shake it really good. And it's that I tell everybody, I think there's some people say put it in the dark, some people say put it in the sunlight. I tell everybody, you just do your own thing. Because I put mine in the sunlight, and then sometimes I put it in the dark. It depends on whether I'm doing oils or whether I'm doing tinctures. But the main thing is you gotta shake it. You can't let it just get all dried out, or your tincture won't be any good. But the main thing is when you get finished, whether you leave it in there for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you have to strain this out, use your strainer, put it in a clean jar, and then you have to leave it in the dark. You can't leave it exposed to light once you're finished straining it out. Because if you put it in the light, whether you put it in a clear container or not, you know, some people they put it in an amber jar. I don't really have a lot of amber jars. You can put a sock over this, or you can just simply put it in a dark room. I have a dark room, and then I have some amber, or you could just put a cloth over it. You know, some people I put a towel over some of mine. I just put it in a clean jar, and then I'll just cover some of mine up. And, you know, make sure your air conditioner stays on, especially in the summertime. And make sure it's just clean, dark room where it's not getting a lot of heat, or that'll really ruin all your tinctures and your oils or whatever, your salves. But that's about it. And then we'll put it in your little tincture bottles, whether it's 1 ounce or 2 ounce. And then we're gonna start collecting everything. And then when I get ready, I'll start showing you how I'm putting all my first aid kit together. That's gonna include our salves, and then it's gonna include our tinctures. You know, that's separate from a backpack. That's separate from a to-go bag. Your first aid kit is gonna be separate. Okay, you guys have a great day. The next one we're gonna get ready to do, it's gonna be listed under a first aid kit as well. But that's all for today. Lobelia is gonna be in our first aid kit. It's gonna go along with our other tinctures, our other items that we're gonna have listed in our first aid kit. And you guys start thinking what y'all would want to put in your first aid kit. It's not gonna be a small bag, it's gonna be a big thing, and it's gonna have a handle on it. So y'all start thinking like bandages, and start thinking like salves, and you know, things that you might wanna, you know, help out with your family and your friends and your community, because this may be something that you need to put together, like some scissors and some things like that. And so when you're out shopping, you know, think about things. You know, you may want to include Tylenol. I don't know what you might want to include, but you know, I'm going to have in the next video, I'm putting together a list so you guys can start getting on this train of thought with me, but as an herbalist, and as you can start thinking of yourself as an herbalist. You know, we got to think about what we're going to need and what we're going to need to start preparing for now that it's summer. And don't think it's too late to start growing some herbs. If you're at the place where you can get some herbs that are already started, and maybe even stocking up on some seeds, you know, because we never know. And just start thinking in that category, in that frame of mind, you know, because you always have to have bug repellent, and you always have to have something, because if you're not in your house, if you're out somewhere else, you got to be prepared all the time. Think about being prepared. Okay, that's all for now. And remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And look for me. I'm always putting stuff on the community post. If you can find, it's at the top where it says about me, you know, where it's subscribe, and then at the top, it's on your phone, and it's always where it says about more, community, and videos and stuff like that. It's always up at the top. And I'll start listing stuff, or I'll put pictures, or I'll say something about a video, and I may put the list up there. I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.